Hello, everyone. Today I am coming at you with the MAILES KENBU, and as you might be able to tell here, I have three of them in three different sizes scales. The top one up here, the big one I mean, is the full mechanics. I have the high grade and the no grade that I got from Hobby Japan magazine. These guys are from the show War on the Border, or Kyokai Senki, I think it's called. If I pronounce that incorrectly, please correct me. Um, I have not seen the anime yet, but I do intend on watching that one. It does look pretty interesting. I hear that it's a bore, but the mecha design is really cool. These I got recently, much more recently than some of the other stuff in my backlog, but having all three just got me, hey, you know what, you gotta build them. I actually got another one of those. I'm gonna probably either paint it or sell it. Haven't decided exactly what I want to do, but that is what I'm going to be showing you all today. Well, these are what I am going to be showing you all today. So I'm going to start with the smallest one first, so give me a second, I'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, this is the smallest of the bunch. This one is the no grade that it came in a Hobby Japan book, I think they call them, like magazine book, in a small pack similar to this one, so it's the same size kind of box. And this is a sprue for a hair on the Maidroid character, so I mean it's obviously a very small kit. It's two sprues. You get an A sprue in white and B sprue in red. Not a lot to it. It is, however, in 1/44 scale, which means that compared to a high grade Gundam, it is about the same in universe size. So, or scale, not size. But there's my RX-78, and there is the MAILES KENBU. As you can see, he is just about hip height on that guy. Compared, quite small. The little guy, like I said, didn't come on a lot of parts, so obviously its articulation is limited. He only comes with this. There are no weapons, so I'm going to be needing to paint him with all the yellow bits, gray bits, everything other than white and red. In actuality, it comes with every part that would be red, so that's one color that I wouldn't need to do. As you can tell, I put the shoe part on right on this side and wrong on this side. As far as articulation, it actually is articulated, which is amazing to me. The arm is all one piece. Well, it's two pieces sandwiched together, and then a ball joint up on the top. So you do get some articulation, and it's not bad for the size, you know, with a ball joint and in a standard little socket. It's not bad for what it is. You don't get any elbow or wrist movement like you will in the other sets, and I will show those off. And for the leg, it is also articulated, but it's only a barrel in a port, so that just rotates up and down, and it is locked in this sideways kind of stance. But they do give you a ball joint in the foot so that you can compensate for that and kind of pose him how you will. Also, his neck is on a ball joint as well, so you do get some movement there. It does have some detailing on it. You can see, especially on the chest, if I can get it to focus here, maybe. No, it's not going to want to. There we go. So yeah, there is some fine detailing that I'll be able to get a brush into and put some color on this guy, and that'll be a lot of fun. One of those miniature projects that's you know, just a little bit of a pain. But he is 1/44 scale, so he works with your Gundams in that universe if you wanted to put him in there. He is also very similarly sized to a Hexagear Governor that is in 1/24 scale. I will put a picture up of one that I had posing as a fight scene with him. So if you wanted a miniature one that can fight off with your Governors, you can do that as well. We will go on to the next one, which will be the high grade. Alright, the high grade MAILES KENBU. What can I say about this kit except for it was a really fast and really easy build. It's very similar to one of the more modern kits that you get, the Fine Build system. This one is completely polycapless, so everything is put together from polystyrene. I think the whole kit is actually polystyrene. Pretty impressive. So he is rather basic in what I have him set as right now. This is just him straight out of the box, straight out of the build. He does have stickers to cover that upper part, this gray. I did have to separate it, so I cut that sticker. These are gold stickers, which is actually really annoying. They slide in and out, which means they do wear out, and this one already has. So that's going to need some paint, but it needs to be done in very, very careful proportions. You don't want to overcoat that because it is a piston and it slides in there, and I'll show you that in a little bit. That black there is a sticker. This gray here is a sticker. Yellow on the back there. Yellow here. And the yellow on the feet are all stickers. But everything else is color separated. Most of the parts that you actually see on this kit are on the head. Compared to other parts where, you know, you have 3 or 4 parts put together here versus I think it's like 22 on the head. It's a lot of little parts, but it did come out really well in my opinion. It is a pretty good kit. I'm going to put my high grade Gundam back out here so you can see what he looks like compared. This one is almost an unfair comparison because this one is in 1/72 scale, which is twice the size of the smaller one that we had earlier, and also he is standing upright, stretched out legs. He can fold them down. I think this is a more appropriate way to have him standing, more like this versus like this, but he can stand either way. As you see, he is taller than the Gundam while he's standing straight up. But again, it is a double size and proportion to the Gundam himself. I will compare him to my Master Grade 3.0. So you can see he's not a small kit. He's pretty large compared to a high grade Gundam. But he's not overly huge. I would say just a large high grade, and like anything after the Zeta, he's gonna pretty much match up in the Universal Century, barring like F91 kits or anything like that. But before they started shrinking, but he is a large Gundam size in that standing upright position. Actually, let's do some articulation first. So let's see. He has fun articulation in the head. So he's a ball on the top and then on the bottom. So he can get pretty much any position you want him to, including the tuck down chin. You know, he's looking down. There's no flap for the cockpit. The upper shoulder here actually has a flap. I'm sure that's in the show, so they needed to include it. There's a ball joint on the shoulder, and that gives you everything a ball joint normally does. This has a joint inside here as well, so you can lift that all the way up. Then that piston that I was talking about. So this one is like, what do you call it? It's not a barrel, but I guess it would be stuck inside the chest here, and when you move it, it can come out. That moves the piston forward and backward. It's also captured inside that part there, so when you move it, it moves in and out. If you didn't get that sticker 100%, which apparently I did not, it kind of destroys it. So you need to be really careful with the application of that sticker, or if you were to put paint, very careful with that one, or just keep it pushed back like I have it here, and that way it won't be a problem at all. But you do have plenty of articulation to play with, so you can move that all the way out. You can even move it further upward if you use this joint instead of the one in the shoulder, so that gets you an even higher T-pose. This also rotates, so you have another rotation at that point. This is a simple peg on. Like I said, no PC part in there. That's just polystyrene. This also has a joint, so you can move this thing around. That's, I guess you would call it a wrist. So that comes off, same thing. The wrist pin here is just a single ball like they normally are. No articulation in the hand, but I mean, I'm not going to expect miracles. There is, it's not a ball joint in the waist here. It's a pin that goes in to a hole, and then the same thing on the bottom is also a pin in a hole. So you get rotation there, and you also get a side to side, but it isn't a ball joint. Very interesting idea. This is on a flap, as you can see. You have pin inside here, which also rotates almost all the way out. If you move it a little bit, you can probably get it to go flat. So that's pretty impressive. It moves all the way around in a circle, just as you think it would. You can move the arm out of the way to get it to go even further. Don't know why you would, but why not? Same concept on the arms as on the legs. This one is the ankle joint. Moves quite a bit. It's kind of a funny looking thing, but you can move it quite a lot. These ones are all stable here. There is a rotation here, but no ball. It's just a cylinder. And then you have a hinge on the toe, so if you need to lean him forward or anything like that. Right now he looks really goofy, so let's put him back to a neutral position. But yeah, he is fairly well articulated. I really appreciate what you can do with such a funky looking mecha. As far as accessories, this one does come with quite a lot. Oh, I was lucky enough to get 2 sticker sheets. So these are what you get. Those are the black ones on top of the shoulders, the yellow ones here on the feet, etc. Where was that one? I don't remember. Anyways, there's that. It comes with a neat little backpack that is articulated as well. I'm going to show that one right now. Here it is. So that plugs onto his back very easily. You know, it just sits there on it. It doesn't look particularly great, but it is what it is. These are simple cylinders. It will wear out over time. It holds onto your sword, and the other one holds onto the gun. Both the arms are the same, so there's nothing wrong with swapping them out. And that just... Oh, that's where those yellow ones are. That just plugs in right here. So, like I said, it doesn't look great, but it's there. And it works. In addition to that one, you also get the gun. I left the hand on there. I mean, why not? It has a white finger for the trigger. And the black fingers there. So, I'm not sure what color they are in the anime, so they're probably darker. Makes sense, because everything else was. This is for the unfinished version. This goes on this arm here. I'm guessing he didn't have weapons when they started. I'm not sure. The unfinished version also has a plain black shoulder piece, which replaces this one here. It includes the parts to build that. I also got the 2 regular holding hands to swap out for the black parts on these to hold the sword, so you can hold it on either hand. So it's a little bit, you know, like it's kind of a lot of accessories. If you ask me, it's not a bad deal for what you pay for it, and it is a decent kit for a high grade. You know, decent sized kit for a high grade. I really like it. I like posing him. He he is able to capture some really fun poses, you know, just based on these weird angles that it has. So you can get something that's a little bit different than, you know, what a Gundam can do, just based off of the geometry of the actual mecha. So obviously the best one of the bunch here is going to be the full mechanics. I did change out some of the parts here, some of the accessories, compared to the other ones right out of the box. This one, it includes the claw arm, so I put that one on instead of the standard. But to change that out is actually incredibly easy, and I will show you that in a little bit. Right now, I wanted to show off what the features of this thing are. He's just an awesome size, and there is way more articulation on this one. Where I feel that it failed is that the underside, the inner frame, as it were, isn't as detailed as it could be. That might just because the anime is that way. I don't know. So it might be just a really simple robot in comparison to, say, a Gundam. It is a lot smaller, after all, than a Gundam would be. So I don't know. It's just a little thing that I noticed. It's not exactly expertly detailed underneath as I want it to be, and I think some of my other friends said the same thing. That said, I will do a size comparison with the same high grade and master grade Gundam RX-78. So you see he dwarfs the Gundam pretty easily, almost double the height, and the master grade is even shorter by a head and shoulder. That is, again, the higher version of it, so he's standing up straight. If I were to fold him down, he would be almost on par with the master grade. I can do that for y'all right now. So yeah, as you see in his, I guess that would be a normal position for him, because that's how they tell you to build him anyway. It's a little closer on the height to the master grade. Still taller, but, you know, he's a big boy. I really like the hatch. I think they only did this for the full mechanics, but yeah, you can see the kid in there. It's an interesting location for it on the back there. Definitely makes it kind of a weak spot in terms of armoring, but we're in a alternate universe, so I guess people don't really see it that way. Anyways, all right, we're checking the articulation now. The head, obviously, you get a more refined version of what you had in the high grade. So it's just more parts, but it does the same thing. You have a ball joint at the bottom, a ball joint at the top, and you can move him around. At the shoulder, you get a similar... Ooh, I just dropped the arm. That was pretty cool. You get the similar articulation here compared to the high grade, but much more forward motion. You do get that flap as well, just like you did on the high grade. That goes back, and you have a rotation at the shoulder, up and down, very similar to what you have on the high grade, actually. That does go up and down inside the shoulder here, and on the body itself, so you can do some funky poses if you really wanted to. Look at me pulling this thing apart. I am having a blast here. Let's get the arm real quick. Same as the high grade, you do have a rotation up here. You have a rotation right here, and one right here. The regular arm is the same as this in terms of length between these two, so it is actually the very same concept. But this one is the claw arm, so it has the foldable arms here, and you can do the scratchy thing if you really wanted to. So that's that. You have a ball jointed wrist, which also has an up and down. These are not articulated, but the ball joint on the thumb is. So you have that. See. So that can move around just a bit. And like I said, that one does move up and down, or in and out. It's on a hinge. It goes back here. Goes back here. Make sure you put that in all the way so it doesn't do what it did to me. We are going to move on to the waist. The waist, this one, unlike the high grade, has a crunch and a swivel, so you can go in and out there. It's the same kind of concept where it's a cylinder. Same on the bottom here, so you get that waist swivel too. The legs, standard kind of leg where you can rotate it. The tail is actually in the way on this one, so you can't go as far back as you could on the high grade. It's kind of funny, I didn't notice that before. You have the rotation here, you can go all the way around this way. Kind of funny looking. You have a flap here. I think it's this way. Yeah, it's to help you move that upward. But it's not really necessary. These wings here on this one are actually articulated, so you can move them in, out, whichever way you want. So is this one. They're all on ball joints, so you have quite a bit of fun with those. Foot also has the toe rotation, or not rotation, but hinge, just like the high grade, and the foot itself is on a peg, just like the high grade. So it's a very similar concept there. In addition to those, like I said, it does come with more on this one. So you have the butt flap that moves up and down. This one actually has the platform for loading the pilot in. That comes out and folds out. He can get on there, and then it moves up this way so that he can board the craft. Pretty cool looking little thing. I like that. So he doesn't need any external hardware. Oh, did I not shave that nub off? Look at me. And like I said, that cockpit does open so you can see the character inside. This one, definitely more articulated than the other one, but not necessarily better articulated. It is a full mechanic, so it's not a master grade. It's not going to have master grade flaps opening everywhere and everything like that, but it is a really cool version of the MAILES KENBU. So as far as what comes in the box, this is a sticker sheet. They are stickers, they're not decals of any sort. They are stickers, you can see how they're cut, and I have not put any of those on. I don't necessarily like all the extra crazy details if they're not included on the anime. I'm not really going to put them on. All the little power button looking things, like right here, have a green or red, which I guess means on or off. Kind of obvious, but I guess that tells you which systems you can use or which ones you can't. And there's a sticker. No, there's not a sticker on this one. That one's on the high grade. But there's a clear piece in there. That is the gun. The thing is tremendously large. I love it. I want to give it to one of the girl kits that I have. This is the regular arm piece instead of the oh, I forgot to show that one. Instead of the claw, this part here actually rocks out and you can open it up, and there's a reason for that, and I'll show you which feature that is right now. That's the prototype claw fits directly into that port there and kind of holds itself in there. I don't particularly care for this look. I think it's very plain, but it does serve as a shield as well. And I think it's actually supposed to be white, and they did the same thing on the high grade. It does come with the backpack just like the high grade did as well, and it's a very similar construction. So you have the rotating pins that you can get a very easy access to everything that you need, and it does carry the sword and the gun. Now the reason why this one is holding the sword where the other ones weren't is because the hands are pretty difficult to detach and reattach. So we have trigger finger. So you need to take that off, insert the gun, and then put that onto the part of the hand that doesn't be removed. There's a holding hand for the sword. They look great. Honestly, they do. No articulation, but you can't complain. That's the other side trigger finger, so you wanted to hold the other way. Or the claw hand. You know, you have the open fingers, expressive fingers. That would be going on this side. Also get a pilot who's getting ready to onboard. So, you know, he's getting ready for a ride on the Kenbu. Decently detailed. Nothing to write home about, but he does match the pilot that's inside the MAILES. Oh, also, instead of an extra arm part for the shoulder for the prototype, you just remove that because it has the inner frame and that's what it's supposed to represent. And instead of putting this on, you would put this part on to make it represent the unfinished state of it. Alright, so you can see here I brought all three back out. The full mechanics, high grade, and no grade. Of the bunch, that guy was the most expensive. And I'm kind of glad I got him. I'm kind of disappointed in it, but what do you do with a thing that's supposed to come in a magazine? You know, it's not going to be the best. That said, I'm glad I have it because as far as I know, I'm one of the only people in the United States that has one. And I think that's a pretty cool thing to have in my repertoire. As you know, I do like to collect odd things, so this one is definitely an oddity compared to the other two. Price point wise, this one's about $60. 63 I think is what I got him for. I think I pre-ordered him for about the same, maybe 60. That one's 28, 30. You get it for $32 somewhere. You definitely have a good deal. That one was $15 in the magazine, but $40 for shipping. So I paid quite a pretty penny for that one in terms of what you get out of the box. I did get a cool magazine out of that too, so I'm not going to complain too much. At least I can get some ideas on how to decorate and paint these guys, which is what the magazine's focus was on, as well as other kits. But I guess it's not actually the most expensive, but in terms of what you get out of the box, definitely was the most expensive price per piece. Would I recommend buying them? That one definitely, I love the way it is. If you can get it still right now, it does come with an additional sprue of clear armor parts. And that's for the first run release. So if you can find one, it's definitely worth getting. I have one, like I said, so if you want to make an offer, just kidding. I'm thinking about painting it. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell it. But definitely get that one. The high grade is also worth the money in terms of if it's a high grade Gundam, what you got out of the box is definitely worth the while. So like what I mean is, compared to say a high grade Gundam, it's got all the accessories that you want. It doesn't have the claw arm, but I think that you can get that elsewhere. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into the line too much. Buying these ones though, building these ones definitely made me want to look into buying more. So I'm going to be getting more coming out as they come out. Definitely, at least these guys. That one, if you can find them for cheap, buy it, because that one, it's a it's a funny one. You know, I love the small things, and that's definitely a small thing. So I think it's just kind of a quirky little thing. Don't buy it for more than $15. If you can avoid paying a shipping cost or anything like that, do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother, because it is available in Japan, and that shipping was just too much. Combined with other stuff probably, but I wanted it right away, so I just grabbed it. Bad idea. But anyways, I'm happy I have it. Happy I got to show it to you, because it's definitely a weirder and cooler thing compared to some of the things that I have. But he's a definite. If you can get him, he's definitely one that I would recommend. It's just a big, bulky machine, and he just has a lot of shelf presence. That face is really cool. But even this guy is a really cool substitute if you don't have a room for a giant mecha. He's still a really nice addition to your Gundam, and he's about the same height as them, so high grade anyway. Thank you for watching my long review, but with 3 things, I guess I'm allowed to make it a little longer. We had 3 kits, so I don't know how long this is going to be. I'm thinking it's going to be like 25 minutes, and I don't really like making things longer than 20 minutes. But in any case, thank you for watching if you stuck around to the end. If you didn't, that's awesome too. Just tell me what you think of my review, what I can shorten, how I can shorten it. Give me some advice, you know. So yeah, tell me what you have for advice for shortening things and not rambling on. I literally have a script of what I wanted to say. I covered most of it, but I need to stick to it a little bit more. In any case, though, you guys have a great day. Make sure you leave a comment, like it if you did. The comments, I kind of just want to read questions. You know, if you have a question about what I built, how I enjoyed it, that'd be cool. If not, you know, don't worry about it. That's cool too. I tend not to comment on things as much as I want to because I don't know, I'm just weird that way. But if you do comment, I'd appreciate it because I do try to respond to everything that comes up. There's not a lot, so I have the time to do that. And subscribe if you see this and you want to see more like it. Thank you very much. Bye.